structure off from the formula to organic structure. So usually on an exam, it's going to ask you to draw the Lewis structure and then go to an organic structure. The first thing I would do is write down all the carbons and how many we have. So in our formula, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 carbons. So after that, I would just write them all down. Right. So once we have all 6 of our carbons written down in our Lewis structure, we will add all the like remaining hydrogens and anything that needs to be added later. Usually I go from left to right, so we can just start from left. So on the left we have 3 hydrogens, so we just add them to it. Right, so then we're going into the second carbon that has 2 hydrogens, so we can just add on the top and bottom. So the third carbon's a little different because it has a hydrogen, but it also has an iodine, so we can also place that somewhere around here. Now we're going to the fourth and fifth carbon. That's right here. And we could go back to that one later. So we could just go to the sixth carbon that has 3 hydrogens. Right, and so then in the fourth and fifth carbon, we can see that there is no octet here. So the only way that we can have an octet is to add a double bond in there. So that will make it so that each carbon has an octet. And so what an octet means is when a carbon has 8 electrons around it, and that makes it stable. So the final structure is just going to look like that. And now for the organic structure. So the way that you draw the organic structure is by doing lines, right? So something like that. So the way that we would do this simply is just to count the number amount of carbons. We have 6 carbons, so we need at least 6 dotted lines on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'll show you how I did all that. So each point is going to be a carbon. And so that's our 6 points. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So this triple bond right here actually has the carbons on the ends, end bits, so that's what it's counting right there. So now that we got the chain built up, we can add anything that's on here. So we see that we have an iodine on there, so we can add that to the third carbon. And so everything that I'm adding and following has to be where it's at. So if the third carbon has an iodine, we have to add that iodine right here. And you're probably wondering where the hydrogens went. So when you're doing on an exam, it has to be like simplified. So each carbon has their hydrogens, but they're kind of implicit hydrogens. So this carbon has its 3 hydrogens. The second carbon has its 2 hydrogens. The third carbon has another hydrogen plus its iodine, but you don't have to add the hydrogen on there. And then the fourth and fifth carbon don't have any hydrogens because they're just collapsed like that. And then the sixth carbon has those 3 hydrogens as well. But on an exam, all these hydrogens are implicit.